on Fox. Last night, Mr. Key showed some nerve, but Bailey, the master named Maddox, was simply superb, and those Braves were just smashing. They bashed their opponents 48-2 in the last 5. Tonight, Cone must dig deep for his familiar zone to inspire, or his team will expire at the hands of Glavine, who's looking for a big-time kill. There's Yankees in Georgia, and they're right in the eye of the storm, desperately trying to survive this moment of truth. It's New York and Atlanta in Game 3 of the World Series on Fox.
Well, friends, there were plenty of frustrated faces in the Yankees clubhouse last night as the Braves jumped out to a 2-0 World Series lead. Many wonder if it was the last game of the year in the Bronx, but Game 3 starter David Cone says no.
Down here. Maybe we're a little frustrated. Maybe tonight Maddox was near flawless. You got to give him a lot of credit. Like the first game, we were more frustrated and disappointed with that game. But with all that being said, everybody in here is excited about going down there and playing. And we know the ball travels well there. And we've got some home run hitters that seem to play well in smaller parks, as we did in Baltimore. And guys are excited. We're ready to go.
You talk about excitement. The Braves were so excited they could have flown home without an airplane, taking a 2-0 lead in the hostile environment in the Bronx. The faithful here in Atlanta greeted the Braves at 2 o'clock this morning at Hartsfield Airport. They are rocking and rolling at Fulton County Stadium, and that's the scene tonight's starting pitcher David Cone will see as he makes his belated appearance here in Atlanta for what could be a near must-win situation for the New York Yankees. They are down 2-0. No team in World Series history has ever come back from a 3-0 hole, but that's where the Braves will try to put New York tonight, here before a raucous crowd at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Hello again, everybody. Along with Dave Winfield and Steve Lyons, I'm Chip Carey. Welcome to Fox Sports coverage of the 1996 World Series, Game 3, Braves and the Yankees. Game 1 in New York was a quick execution. Game 2, guys, for New York was like the Chinese water torture, painful to watch and endure.
Hey, last night, Greg Maddox was stingy, and he was magnificent. Not only did he throw a shutout, but he only allowed 7 balls to reach the outfield. But more impressive than that, and I watched it closely, the Yankees did not get very many solid, aggressive swings at Greg Maddox, and if they can ill afford to face Tom Glavine tonight with the same reverence as they did with Maddox last night.
Well, we talked about all the off time they had, 6 days. That keeps coming back to haunt these guys. I said it might take them until Game 3 before they could wake up. Guess what? It's Game 3, and they're down 0-2.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tough, tough, tough when you got to face those Cy Young Award winners. And Greg Maddox was the story last night, that prime piece of baseball real estate called Yankee Stadium. The story is always with Maddox. Location, location, location.
Well, a lot of times in order to get a great location, you have to move, and that's what Maddox relies on, the movement. I had a chance to talk to him today, and he says, I have to get ahead because if I don't, I have a much better chance of getting guys out earlier in the count than later in the count. Look at the way he just lays that ball out over the plate for Cecil Fielder, relies on the movement to jam himself. Same thing with Mariano Duncan right there. Throw the fastball, get the movement. Severely in Tito Martinez's kitchen right there with the inside fastball. And then again to Joe Girardi, a fastball, he gets himself out. 83 pitches all day long. That's a masterpiece.
Yeah, and the big key, as you said, the Yankees got themselves out all night long. Only 1 fly ball out in that game last night in the Bronx. Now, the big story for New York tonight, Derek Jeter. How's the young shortstop's health? Well, last night in the 6th inning, he was popped, 3rd inning, I should say, popped by a Greg Maddox pitch. Couldn't get out of the way of that ball. No fracture. He is sore. The wrist is heavily taped. He will go. He said to us, hey, this is the World Series. I am not sitting out now. Now, of course, as you know, we're in a National League city. That means no designated hitter for games 3, 4, and 5. For the Yankees, that means no Boggs, no Tino Martinez, no Paul O'Neill in the lineup. For Joe Torre, if the Braves continue to pitch, it might be no more runs also.
Well, Joe Torre's going with 1 less hitter over here in the National League, and not many hitters have showed up in the series already. Therefore, he's going to the big boppers in the launching pad. They're going to Darryl Strawberry, Cecil Fielder, even Charlie Hayes over at 3rd. They're looking for a long ball. They need something to get him going.
Well, both of these managers manage their ball clubs. They're not afraid to play their hunches. O'Neill has been lousy in the postseason. Tito Martinez hasn't had a home run or an RBI in the entire postseason. Those guys are out. fielder, and Strawberry and Charlie Hayes plays third base tonight. They need production.
And folks, this crowd is rocking here in Atlanta, and we've got another great pitching matchup. For the New York Yankees, it's David Cone. He tried to get out of New York last night, could not because of mechanical troubles. He took the charter with the Yankee team here to Atlanta, and he will pitch for New York tonight. A spotty postseason record. He has struggled, 0-1 in ERA over 6. That could be a big, big bonus for Tom Glavine. The MVP of the World Series last year, the left-hander, 2-1 this year. The Yankees 7 games under 500 against Southpaws. The Coneheads are out. The Braves look to take 3 straight over the Yankees, and we'll have more from Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium right after this. It is a beautiful night for baseball here in Atlanta. Temperatures in the 60s. It's Game 3 between the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees. Let's now join the fine public address announcer for the Atlanta Braves, Marshall Mann, as he welcomes tonight's national anthem singer to Atlanta.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of our national anthem, which tonight will be performed by Grammy Award-winning Blitz Atlantic recording artist All For One.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home
The Yankees may not say it. It may not be a must-win, but it's awfully close. No team has ever come back from an 0-3 hole to win the World Series. Atlanta leads it 2-0, and ready with the call for tonight's game is our trio of Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Bob Brenly. Hello, guys.
Hello, Chip. Well, we're 3 for 3 on the anthems. We know that. The Braves are trying to make it 3 in a row as this series shifts back to Atlanta with Bob Brenly and Tim McCarver. Joe Buck and Tim, the Yankees had all that rest. They had the first 2 games at home in Yankee Stadium. The Atlanta Braves were not intimidated one bit going to the Bronx, and now the series is back here. First 2 games did not go well at all for New York.
Well, New York down 2-0, and obviously it's going to be tough, Joe, to come back from that deficit. But think about 8 days ago when the Atlanta Braves were down 3-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. They weren't hitting at all. Luis Polonia of the Braves going along the bat rack saying, "Wake up," or "Despierto" in Spanish. And that's what the Yankees have to do. They have to take their bats and say, "Wake up," because the Yankees offense has been deplorable. They've scored only 1 run, a batting average of 175, 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and Joe Torre probably put it best. He said, we don't have to win 4 out of 5. We have to win 1 in a row.
Just
wake up.
Despierta. Right. We get ready for Game 3, and last night it was Greg Maddux on the mound for Atlanta. Tonight it's Tom Glavine. Man, nothing new for the Braves. They've been here for the last 5 times in the World Series. They just seem to get better.
Well, people are starting to throw the word dynasty around when they talk about the Atlanta Braves. You know, how do you build a dynasty? It's a lot like putting toys together on Christmas morning. You can follow the instructions, do it right, you know, tab A into slot B, or you can just slap it together and hope it works, which is what I usually do. they've made some shrewd free agent signings, most notably Greg Maddux and Greg McMichael. Some great trades when teams had fire sales. McGriff, Grissom, Denny Nagel most recently. They traded a veteran for a prospect when they got John Smoltz, but right here it is. Homegrown. These guys came up through the Braves organization. 5 starters in the ball game tonight, including Tommy Glavine, one of the senior guys that have come up through the Braves organization. He's been through the lean times. Now he's enjoying the good times.
It's been a long run, hasn't it? Tab A into slot B. We're trying. Game number 3 of the World Series coming your way next. The Yankees and the Braves at Fulton County Stadium. Stay tuned. It's up next after this from your local Fox station. Tom Glavine raced out to the mound. He led the charge for the Braves as they take the field here in Game 3. They're up 2-0 at Fulton County Stadium. It is a jam-packed ballpark, and we are ready to roll. The Yankees hope they are ready. They will lead it off with Tim Raines in left field and Derek Jeter batting second at short. Bernie Williams is hitting third and center. Cecil Fielder cleaning up at first base. Charlie Hayes his first start. Then it's Darryl Strawberry, 3 home runs in the '96 postseason. Mariano Duncan at second base. Joe Girardi catching. David Cone pitching and batting ninth. The defense for the Atlanta Braves with Griff at first base. 15 putouts, 3 assists in Game 2, and a whole lot of run production in the 1996 postseason. And the left-hander, Tom Glavine, last year's World Series MVP, a record of 4-2 as he makes his 7th World Series start. 15-game winner during the regular season. There's Tom Glavine.
Well, we talked about it in the NLCS. If you're going to have success against Tom Glavine, you have to look away. He's going to work the outside corner of that plate and try to lead the Yankees hitters right out of the strike zone. Throws a sinking fastball, an occasional cut fastball, little slider and a changeup.
The reason you have to look away is you have to take that outside corner and bring it toward you if you're a right-handed batter. It sounds redundant, but we'll say it again. More than any other pitcher in the National League, Tommy Glavine tries to get you out with balls off the plate, not over the plate.
There you see the scouting report. The second bullet point right there, stays stubborn. He never gives into the strike zone. Usually you talk about don't give in to the hitter.
Right.
Glavine does not give into the strike zone.
Well, we'll get an early read on exactly what that strike zone is with the American League umpire, Tim Welke, behind the plate. Tim Raines will lead it off. Then Derek Jeter, then Bernie Williams. The Yankees lost Game 1, 12-1. Losers last night to Atlanta 4-0 with flashballs popping all over this ballpark. There's strike 1 on Tim Raines, who is 2 out of 5 in this 1996 World Series. Home plate umpire is Welke with Ripley, Young, and Jerry Davis on the bases. Jim Evans down the left field line and Terry Tata from the National League down the right field foul line. That missed the outside corner, which is where Glavine will go time and time again. 1 ball, 1 strike. David Cone, the starter for the Yankees tonight, has an ERA of 6 during this year's postseason. 2-1.
The Atlanta outfield defense does not play the right-handed hitter. They play Tommy Glavine. You will find Marquise Grissom almost in the exact spot with every right-handed hitter because of that outside fastball.
Glavine behind on the count even further now, 3-1.
As a hitter, a lot of times you can pretty much guess how a team's going to pitch you if you look at the defensive alignment. And with this alignment, it's pretty obvious Glavine's going to have to stay away.
Glavine's been doing this for years, pitching outside. Been successful with it. Full count on Tim Raines. Tommy Glavine, the winningest left-hander in baseball over the last 9 years, and the winningest pitcher in baseball for the last 6 seasons with 106 victories.
Joe, I think one of the big reasons that Glavine has been successful with that area is that he varies his speeds to that area so well.
Crowd wants the first out right here with Raines. Tim steps out. He has a full count of 3-2. Working with Javier Lopez tonight. Lopez has made the start in each of the first 3 World Series games. walk. Raines very patient, and he is on to start the night offensively for the Yankees.
And you can see Tommy Glavine and Bobby Cox very upset about that pitch. If Glavine doesn't get that pitch on the 3-2 count. Foul that one off, and that's the 3-2 pitch. If he doesn't get that pitch, it's going to be a long night for Glavine.
That second pitch was very telling as well. He just missed off the outside corner. He fell behind Raines and he walked him. A leadoff walk, and now Derek Jeter. Great to see Jeter in the lineup after last night being hit on the left wrist. Showing his speed, he is out. However, on a very strong play by Javier Lopez, who can move well for a catcher, hopped out from behind home plate, and the put out to 4.
Nice bunt here by Derek Jeter right off the end of the bat. The ball just barely trickles out into the grass. No other play but to go to first base. I think it was interesting. Tim Raines at bat. You saw him step out of the batter's box, and it looked like he had something in his eye. I guess we can't really be sure, but through the first 2 games, the Yankee hitters have allowed the Braves to get into a rhythm. Get the ball and throw, get the ball and throw. Perhaps tonight they may try to throw Tommy Glavine off of that rhythm. Take a little more time getting into the box.
Our Fox box, top left-hand corner of your screen, runner at second. That is Tim Raines. 1 out, no score. Here is Bernie Williams, 0 for 7 in the World Series. And ball 1 from Glavine. One thing we're seeing earlier than we have in games past, and that's because the leadoff man is on here in the first. Joe Torre gets the leadoff walk. He drops down the bunt. Now he's going to ask for production out of Williams at fielder, but more of that National League style instead of laying back waiting for the 3-run home run. Cecil Fielder in the lineup cleaning up. He's on deck. There's a strike, and it's 1-1.
I think it's worth considering that the bunt in the first inning to Torre may be like the bunt in the 4th inning, because Joe may be playing a 6-inning game with David Cone, trying to get to Mariano Rivera for the 7th and 8th inning to set it up for Wetland.
Torre has not been even close being in a position to use that formula in the first 2 games so far. Runner at second, 1 out. Good baseball from Glavine, strike 2. Yankees laying down a bunt here in the first inning. Wouldn't they love to grab the early lead after losing 12-1 and then 4-0 in game 2. Up the middle, of base hits. Raines comes in to score, and the Yankees score first here in game 3. Joe Torre and the Yankees couldn't have written a script any better than that.
First hit for the Yankees in this series with a runner in scoring position, and after 18 1/3 innings, the Yankees finally have a lead.
And Bernie Williams finally has a hit. So the leadoff walk comes back to get Glavine. The bunt, the hit, now it's 1 on, 1 out for Cecil Fielder. Cecil getting the start tonight at first base. Obviously no DH here in Atlanta. Tino Martinez, who has struggled, has not driven in a run during the postseason, will at least start the night on the bench. Borderline pitch for strike 1 to Fielder.
Slight delay there before the first pitch. Javier Lopez, the catcher, gave a series of signs, as you would with the runner on second base. Perhaps a little pregame jitters here, early game jitters for Lopez. Glavine stepped off the mound. Lopez realized there is no runner at second and went back to one sign.
Guy who was on second's in the dugout now.
1 ball, 1 strike on Fielder. Who better for Atlanta to have on the mound than Tom Glavine? Last year 2-0 in the World Series against Cleveland, was the MVP of the series. Made only 2 starts and won the clincher game 6. 1-0. Lemke's only play to first. 2 out. Down to second is Bernie Williams. He's there with 2 out. As Fielder is retired. And it'll be up to Charlie Hayes. Charlie making his first start of the World Series. Traded to the Yankees on August 20th. Actually 30th from Pittsburgh, where he hit only .248 for Jim Leyland. Boggs and O'Neill on the bench to start. Ball 1.
Hayes has some history against Tommy Glavine, batting .317 lifetime with a home run. Of course, Charlie spent a lot of time in the National League. He's seen him more than most of the Yankee hitters.
Looking for a 2-out RBI hit. 1-1 on a perfect pitch from Glavine.
That was a dart and a bullseye, wasn't it?
One ball, 1 strike. Glavine falls behind 2-1. Along with Glavine, Bob, staying stubborn with regard to the strike zone, a hitter has to stay stubborn and not go after those pitches outside, low and away that are practically unhittable.
Well, most of them are unhittable. When Lopez moves out on that outside corner, he's off the plate right now with the middle of his body.
That's unhittable. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Glavine split the outside corner.
I think he split the middle of the left-handed batter's box here.
Two and 2 on Charlie Hayes. Wouldn't chase it, full count. Strawberry waits on deck. Got him over the outside corner. Hayes doesn't like it, neither does Joe Torre. What he does like is the Yankees get out in front. Thanks to Bernie Williams, 1-0 New York. Yankees get a run on a hit and a walk in the first inning. Now the Braves bat. Bottom of the first, they'll lead it off with Marquise Grissom, then Mark Lemke hitting second. Chipper Jones playing third, hitting third. Fred McGriff, 15 RBIs in the postseason, a major league record. Then it's Klesko, Lopez, Andrew Jones in right. Jeff Blauser batting 8th, and pitching and batting 9th. It's Tom Glavine. Very good hitting pitcher. The defense for the Yankees. Big Cecil gets the start at first base. His first start at first this postseason. And on the mound for the Yankees, a remarkable comeback year within 1996. It's David Cone.
David 7-2 for the Yankees in 11 starts. Operated on for an aneurysm in late May. And remarkably came back in September. His first start against the Oakland Athletics, and he pitched 7 innings of shutout ball. Incredible feat.
The concern with David Cone right now is the fact that he is right about where most pitchers are as they come out of spring training. And of course, early in the season, you hear a lot of pitchers talk about that dead arm. Not really a pain, but they just don't feel that their pitches are as sharp. As you see the scouting report, 4-pitch arsenal, he's got them all. He throws a lot of breaking balls, very big sweeping slider that'll sweep across the plate. Will go deep in the count.
And one of few true big game pitchers. Well, doesn't get any bigger than this for the Yankees or for David Cone, and he starts Grissom with ball 1. 4 out of 10 in this World Series. He's been all over the place. field line. Slicing into foul territory. Strawberry out of room. 1-1. One thing we've noticed with Darryl Strawberry, who has that broken toe on his right foot, he's moved around pretty well when he's been in the outfield for the Yankees in 2 of the first 3 games.
Well, in game 1, he was very active in left field. He showed some great hustle down the baseline. No sign of a limp, but he came back for game 2 and was walking very gingerly on that right toe. But back in there again tonight.
1-1 to Grissom, way out in front. Strike 2.
Not a true slider. Between a slider and a curve. You can see the break right there. Not only going away from Grissom, but down.
Into left field, falling in a hurry, base hit.
Difference between the first curveball that he threw to Grissom and the second one, he left this one up just a little bit. More of a slider spin, and Grissom able to get the end of the bat on it, plopping in front of Tim Raines.
So the Braves and Grissom answer what the Yankees did with Raines, each team putting their leadoff hitter on, and now with 1 on, nobody out. Here's Lemke. Lemke is hitting .500 in the World Series, 4 out of 8. And the postseason, .383. Good fastball from Cone, strike 1.
Charlie Hayes at third base anticipating a bunt well in front of the bag on the infield grass, but Lemke showing no signs on that pitch.
You're wondering about stolen bases. 11 tried against David Cone, 9 made it.
One and one on Lemke.
A lot of things Bobby Cox can do right here. 1-run ball game early. A guy who makes contact, puts the ball in play. David Cone around the plate. Grissom with good speed. He can hit and run. He can use the straight steal.
No signs of a bunt. Lemke checked his swing, and the count 2-1.
Well, because Lemke's ahead in the count. Didn't think he went around that. Really wasn't even close. Because he's ahead in the count, makes contact. Cone's got to throw a strike. Look for Grissom to run right here.
And Cone keeps an eye on him. Runner not going to fielder. Out at second, got them both. Nicely turned, 3-6-3.
Do not let Cecil Fielder's size fool you. He's a very agile first baseman. Makes a good strong throw here for a right-hander. Had to get it over Grissom's head to Jeter. Gets back to cover the bag, and Jeter makes a strong relay throw.
Bob, we've heard of quarterbacks leading receivers. Fielder leading Jeter right here perfectly, and gives him an ideal throw for the return throw. Nicely done.
2 out, nobody on, with Chipper Jones at the plate. Kind of thought Cone quick pitched on 2-1. Came very close to committing a balk. Grissom was not running, and because he wasn't running, it's a 3-6-3 double play. Now 1 ball, 1 strike on Chipper.
Yeah, all things set up to me, as I said, you know, with the hit and run situation in that count. Lemke, a guy who's been making contact, seeing the ball real well. Cone, a control pitcher. Grissom, a speed. Bobby Cox electing not to do that, and Mark grounds into the double play.
1-1 on Jones. Good pitch down and in, strike 2.
good location for this slider from David Cone. Starts it over the inside corner of the plate, which is a pitch left-handed hitters like. By the time he starts to swing, that ball breaks down and in out of the strike zone. Chipper Jones swings right over it.
Floats high and away, 2-2. So David Cone able to get around the leadoff hit with a double play ball. Al Stottlemyre, the pitching coach for the Yankees. Jones into right, a 2-out base hit.
This is something the Braves hitters have been doing the last 2 games, extending their swing. You can see Chipper Jones extending out into the strike zone. He was fooled by this pitch, but he's able to keep that bat in the strike zone a long time. Jermaine Dye did it last night. Fred McGriff did it last night. Marquise Grissom did it his first at bat today.
Braves may begin to regret not starting Grissom on that 2-1 pitch to Lemke. There's a strike to McGriff. He's had a terrific World Series. Drove home 2 runs in Game 1, 3 in last night's Game 2 in New York. Gets away from Girardi, but Chipper Jones stays put.
Well, that's bad base running by Chipper Jones. Got to be alert enough. Evidently, he didn't see how far this ball bounced away from Girardi. The ball hitting the heel of the glove. The Chipper's got to be on second base on that ball.
Initially, I thought maybe he was screened on the ball by the catcher, Joe Girardi, but from that view, you could see he should have had a pretty good look at it.
Breaking ball from Cone, strike 2.
Sometimes the ball will get away from the catcher and roll back behind the catcher and the umpire, and you can't see how far behind it is. But as you could clearly see on that replay, Chipper Jones had a pretty good look at it.
Got a pretty big screen over at first base to look around and see some fielding. Screen wears number 45. 1-2 on McGriff. Runner at first, 2 out. 2-2. Two hits in the inning, but a double play ball off the bat of Lemke. It takes more for Atlanta to get something going. Jammed him. It's a fair ball, and that ends the inning. McGriff grounds out to first. No runs, 2 hits, a big double play, and after 1, Game 3, Yankees up by 1.
Jim Cott, also an announcer for the Yankees, said that American League umpires will call strikes 1 and 2, but not strike 3. Well, Tim Raines didn't call strike 3 on that, but Tim Welke punching out Charlie Hayes on almost an identical pitch.
That's how the top of the first inning came to a close as Charlie Hayes was rung up. Now Darryl Strawberry slices one foul down the left field line. Strike 1. Not that surprising that Strawberry would get the start. A lot of baseball people would tell you left-handed hitters are as effective against Tom Glavine as right-handed hitters.
Straw's batted .250 against Glavine in his career, but 3 home runs against the left-hander.
Good fastball. Strike 2. Had him reaching out in front. Second strikeout for Glavine. That was quick.
Not only does Glavine have 4 good pitches, but he changes speeds on all of them. Throws a breaking ball here, took just a little bit off, got Strawberry out in front.
Disappearing slider right here.
You see that little dot in the middle of the ball? That's a slider.
Now with 1 out, nobody on, Mariano Duncan stands in. That's down the right field line and foul.
I firmly believe that if Tom Glavine picked up the rosin bag and threw it home, Mariano Duncan would swing at it.
And the rosin bag would be low and away.
Duncan has always been tough on left-handed pitching. Former switch hitter. He abandoned that early in his career, and he has always been tough when a left-hander's been on the mound since he has stayed batting right-handed. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1.
There's Mariano Duncan's hit zone. Very few blue areas.
It's about as good as you could ever do on a Rubik's Cube. Just 2. Just missing 2.
You know, actually, in any given at bat, that whole area could be red. I mean, Mariano Duncan's hit zone actually goes from the ground to the top of his head and from dugout to dugout.
1 out, nobody on. A 2 ball, 2 strike count on Duncan. Up the middle, stabbed by Glavine. 2 out.
Nice play by Glavine. Leaves himself in good fielding position after the delivery. Hard hit ball, nothing to it.
Now, when you think about it, the finish of Greg Maddux and Tommy Glavine are almost the same. They're both marvelously fielding pitchers. Maddux with 5 assists in last night's game, and Glavine with 1 here tonight.
There's Girardi in there, strike 1. They can all pitch, they can all field, they can all hit, they can all bunt, they can all play golf, they can all collect big checks.
Keep going.
Girardi, a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Only 208 in the postseason. Strike 2. Put our names up there. We got to say something, right?
Not necessarily.
Less is more. 2 out, nobody on. A ball and 2 strikes on Girardi. Inning over. An inning and a half complete in Atlanta. 1-0 New York.
Baseball's World Series is brought to you by AT&T, your true choice. By Pepcid AC Acid Controller, you can be heartburn-free with Pepcid AC. By HBO, it's not TV, it's HBO. And by Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride.
Beautiful night here in Atlanta, ready for Game 3. The Yankees out in front 1-0. Beautiful night and a special night for Brett Butler. Before the game, throughout the ceremonial first pitch, looks great, looks better every time you see him. Lives nearby, and he's going to give it one more try in 1997. One more year in his terrific big league career, which started right here in Atlanta. Part of that Len Barker trade with Cleveland. Klesko rips one to Big Daddy. A little flip, 1 out. That's what you call smothering a baseball.
Oh, he said it earlier. Cecil is a lot more agile than you would think for his body size, and he gets himself in front of that ball, and it's like hitting a backstop. Nowhere for the ball to go. Actually catches it with his right arm, traps it against his body. Nice flip to Coney. You know, getting back to Brett Butler, I was surprised the Braves would ever trade a guy named Brett Butler from Atlanta.
Yeah,
that's just amazing to me.
It's too good, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I guess they didn't give a darn. 1 out, nobody on, and here's Lopez, ball 1.
Well, throughout the 80s, probably only Ricky Henderson with better numbers as a leadoff hitter than Brett Butler.
Lopez 2 out of 8 in this World Series. Checks on Jeter. Ball stayed down. 2 out. With the bases empty, 2 out. Here is Andrew Jones, and a nice round of applause for Andrew, his first game back after all that damage in game 1.
You notice the Atlanta Braves with 2 hits in the first inning, but they had an out and a double play sandwiched between those 2 hits. And that's a very effective way to pitch, to have an out sandwich. Hit, out, hit. One of the more effective ways of scoring runs is to bunch your hits. 3 hits in a row, 2 hits in a row and a sacrifice fly, 2 in a row and an infield out.
That missed a little high. 2-0. One thing Cone has been able to do for the most part is keep his pitches down. Down and in on Lemke back in the first inning that started that 3-6-3 double play. That's down, too far down. It's 3-0 on Jones.
As strange as it sounds, the way for a pitcher to keep the ball down is to keep his arm up. If David Cone starts dropping down a little bit with that delivery, that's when the ball tends to stay up in the strike zone.
Get under it.
Good pitch on 3-0 over the outside corner, 3-1, and Bobby Cox didn't like that call.
He wants that call when Glavin's out there on the mound, so he's going to have to take the other side of the coin too.
2 out, nobody on. Big swing, 3-2.
That was hittable right there.
You guys have talked about it. Andrew Jones has a big swing, but it seems a very controlled swing.
He's got a quick trigger. He gets himself ready to hit very quickly, seems to recognize the pitch quickly, and then takes that big swing after recognizing the pitch.
Cone fell behind 3-0, and he comes back to strike Andrew Jones out on a 3-2 pitch. Now after 2, the Yankees out in front by 1. We'll be back after this from your local station. Shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. The controls is Captain Jim Maloney from Vienna, Virginia. Here is David Cone, and there is ball 1 low and away. Throws right, bats left. Last base hit October 1992. That was in World Series play. He had 2 hits in game 2 while facing Atlanta. 1 ball, 1 strike. Used the DH in the American League ballparks, and the pitchers hit in the National League ballparks, and they'll do that the next 3 games. 1-2 on Cone.
And American League pitchers are 5 for their last 27, spanning about 10 years. David Cone with 2 of those hits. Said 27, 127.
Make it 128. 1 out, and the 4th strikeout for Glavine.
Chris Chambliss hit, as you see Cone take strike 3. You had a look at a guy who could be a manager in the majors next year, Chris Chambliss. And he hit one of the more famous home runs in New York Yankee history off Mark Liddell in the 1976 American League Championship Series. The home run to win it, barely making it around the bases. He is now the hitting instructor of the Yankees.
Reigns behind on the count 0-1.
Matter of fact, David Cone, when he joined the Yankees, David was from Kansas City, a huge Kansas City Royal fan. And David walked up to Chris Chambliss and said, "Don't take this personally, but I hate your guts for hitting that home run against my Kansas City Royals in 1976.
0-1 the count on Reigns, a ball and a strike. Cone actually came up with Kansas City, then was traded to the Mets. Then later came back to the Royals in 93 and 94. Out in front, had him reaching. That's to Blauser. 2 out. Tom Tom Glavine, who allowed a leadoff walk to Raines back in the first. And then the one-out RBI hit by Bernie Williams has settled down. He struck out 4. He's retired 7 in a row. Here's Jeter. 2 out, nobody on for Derek, who laid down a very good sacrifice bunt his first time up.
Here you see the scouting report on Derek Jeter. Leans out over the plate. We saw an example of that yesterday when he was thumped on that left wrist. The book is to jam him in on the hands, slow stuff away.
1-1. Not to say that in last night's game Greg Maddux was trying to hit Derek Jeter, but it's hard to believe Maddux let one get away. You know he was trying to move him off the plate at the very least. Strike 2.
I think more so than Maddux. I mean, if you're hinting that maybe he intentionally threw it, Jeter, I think more than that, it's Jeter's approach to the plate. He really dives in. When he tried to turn away from the ball, he turned into the pitch rather than away from the pitch and really exposed himself.
Glavine is on a roll. 1-2 on Jeter. 2-2.
Well, you can see what Glavine will make you do as a hitter. Jeter cheating out there, checks his swing on this pitch, but he had thoughts of swinging at it. If he finishes that swing, he hits an easy ground ball somewhere in the infield.
Bernie Williams, who has the night's only RBI, waits on deck. Good swing. Count stays full.
Tried to come inside. You could see Javier Lopez with the target inside. Good cut by Jeter. Just missed it.
You won't see Javi Lopez move inside on a right-handed hitter more than maybe a dozen times throughout the course of the ball game. He's going to live on that outside corner.
Down the right field line. Andrew Jones there to make the catch to end the inning. 8 in a row sent down by Glavine. David Cone back to work. Bottom of the third. 1-0 Yankees. Third inning, it's game 3. First game of the series in Atlanta, and the Yankees with a first inning run still out in front 1-0. David Cone back to work. It'll be Blauser, the number 8 hitter, then Glavine, the pitcher, and then Grissom. First pitch swinging, that's to the right side. Cecil over to get it. Good play, 1-out. The pitch count is going to be very important for David Cone. And over the last inning and a third, Cone has only had to throw 10 pitches to get 4 outs. And Blauser goes up there and on the first pitch fouls out to the right side.
Really doing David Cone a favor by chasing that first pitch. I know as a hitter you want to be aggressive and get a good ball to drive, and a lot of times that is the first pitch, but because of his recent injury and the fact that his stamina is not where it should be this time of year, the Braves would be better off to work deep in the count.
Pitch count. Goal clicker. Stottlemyre, the pitching coach for the Yankees, 3-time 20-game winner. To the right side for Cone. Easy play, 2 out. So the first 2 are gone here in the third inning. Back to the top of the order. Friday, it's the most anticipated news series of the season. People magazine calls it far and away the best news show of the year. From the creator of The X-Files comes Millennium, premiering Friday after a classic episode of The X-Files right here on Fox. The X-Files and Millennium on Friday night. Two out, nobody on for Grissom. Marquise of base hit into left his first time up, then was involved in that 3-6-3 double play off the bat of Lemke.
We talked a couple innings ago about Tom Glavine leaving himself in good position to field a comebacker. As opposed, watch David Cone after he releases the ball as he spins off towards first base and almost turns his back on the hitter.
Back toward us, 2-1.
And the reason for that is that David Cone is a power pitcher. And with power of the right arm, a right-handed pitcher is going to drive. The power that he throws the pitch with is going to drive him toward first base. A left-handed power pitcher be driven toward third base after releasing the ball. See how that right leg comes over, stops going toward first.
This is David Cone's delivery. It's a compact windup, but right there, you can see that right leg swings around and leaves him facing first base.
3-1 on Grissom. A high strike. And it's 3-2.
That's a pitch you rarely see called now. Breaking ball around the letters.
Tim Welke thought he was back in 1967 for a second. Still 3-2. Gibson used to live up there, didn't he?
Yep. Sandy Koufax, a high ball pitcher. Jim Palmer, certainly a high fastball pitcher.
2 out, nobody on. Grissom pops it up. So another quick and easy inning for Cone as Duncan hooks it away. A 1-2-3 inning for David Cone, and after 3 in Atlanta, 1-0 Yankees. For a better night weather-wise, 1-0 New York as we slip into the 4th.
There you see the scouting report on the umpire. Tim Welke. He calls a larger strike zone than most American League umpires. He likes the hitters to swing the bat. I guess one of those will accomplish the other, and he is a very level-headed umpire behind the plate. No quick trigger.
Leading it off is Bernie Williams. Hits it hard. One hop to Blauser. Tough play. Great speed. And Williams is on to start the 4th.
Joe, not only great speed, but nobody runs harder out of the box consistently than Bernie Williams. It's an error on Jeff Blauser. Tough hop. But Bernie Williams really busting it down to first. No chance.
It's very easy for a hitter when you hit a ball that hard right at an infielder to just take your routine jog down to first base, but Bernie Williams will have none of that.
Now a Cecil Fielder reaching, strike 1. So an error to start the inning. That's the second postseason error for Blauser, who in only 83 games during the regular season committed 23 errors. But a tough play nonetheless. One and one on Cecil.
Cecil Fielder can flat rake the low ball. That power zone down and in, down over the middle of the plate. So if Glavine does stay down, and he has to be successful, it must be away.
That's away, 2-1.
Cecil's also a very good breaking ball hitter for strikes. If a pitcher throws the breaking ball in the strike zone, he handles it very well. If he throws it out of the strike zone, that's a pitch he has a little trouble with.
Most low ball hitters are good breaking ball hitters because most breaking ball hitters are down in the strike zone.
2-1 on Fielder. Big swing, 2-2. Bernie Williams on the error to start the inning. First error of the night. Tomorrow night's starter, Kenny Rogers. He'll take on Denny Nagel here. Game 4 on Fox, beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern. Two and two on Fielder. Full count. Now do you start Bernie Williams?
I think so. Fielder an ideal double play. man. He is not a fast runner. See what Joe Torre and Willie Randolph do. Willie Randolph, the third base coach. I think you got to send him here.
Well, to combat that, Tom Glavine will probably go with the slide. Now he's going to throw to first, but when he delivers the ball to home plate, he will probably go with the slide step to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible and give Lopez a chance if Williams does run.
Bernie, a career-high 17 stolen bases, so he can run. 17 during the regular season. He is going. Cecil shoots it foul.
And you can see Bernie Williams going late. And the reason that a runner does that, regardless of his speed, is on a 3-2 count. You must make sure the pitcher pitches. There was no good jump. You're not trying to get a good jump, because the responsibility goes back to the hitter to put the ball in play. There's a line drive to an infielder, you're dead. Nothing you can do.
Not going, and we'll do it again.
I think Bernie may have missed a sign there. He's talking to Jose Cardinal at first base, the first base coach. And what happened, I think, is Tom Glavine did not stop, in the opinion of Bernie Williams and Jose Cardinal. They were talking to first base umpire Steve Ripley.
One of the dangers you run into here, if Williams does run, as you said, Tim, he's got to delay and play it more like a hit and run. And Cecil Fielder struck out 139 times during the regular season.
The one advantage, however, facing Glavine not necessarily a strikeout pitcher to a guy like Fielder. He doesn't have a low swooping breaking ball or a pitch like that.
Going. Ball 4. An error and a walk. The second walk issued by Glavine, and the first two are on here in the 4th inning for New York.
The dangerous errors for any ball club are the ones made early in an inning. For instance, an error with nobody out is much more dangerous and more apt to lead to a big inning than an error with 2 men out.
The first two are on, and Charlie Hayes, who struck out, showed you 2 times the pitch. He was called out, that 3-2 pitch, low and away. Back in the first inning, digs in. Hayes likes to shoot the ball to right. Like that. Into right center field. Jones makes the catch. Good base running by Williams. He's at third with 1 out. And it's first and third, 1 down here in the 4th inning for the Yankees.
Well, the Braves looked like they were anticipating a bunt by Charlie Hayes. McGriff was playing in. Chipper Jones was playing in. Of course, Charlie Hayes put down the bunt in game 2 of the series against the Texas Rangers that Dean Palmer threw away. Allowed the Yankees to win the ball game.
Yeah.
So Hayes gets the runner to third. Didn't get the hit of the RBI, but a successful at bat, and it's first and third, 1 out for Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry struck out his first time. Left side base hit. In to score is Williams, and it's 2-0 Yankees here in the 4th.
Talk about a great adjustment by Darryl Strawberry. He struck out on a slider low and away his first time up. He looked like he was looking away, fastball away, rifled the left field.
You two were talking about it earlier. Look how far off the line Chipper Jones was. They were playing Strawberry around a pull. And Darryl finds the hole between third and short to make it a 2-0 Yankee lead, and now it's 2 on 1 out for Mariano Duncan, ball 1. 2 runs on only 2 hits, but an error and a walk have hurt the Braves here in the 4th inning. Back toward us, 1-1.
Don't laugh at me. I was ducking. What are you laughing at me for? I am gone. I've told you that throughout this postseason. I'm out of here on foul balls and just happened to hit the screen. I was flinching.
You caught me by surprise. I was looking down there, and all of a sudden there was a body in my lap.
I apologize.
Way late with that cut. Very good fastball from Glavine. Strike 2.
Glavine is sneaky quick, what they call sneaky quick. He can get that fastball up there 92, 93 miles an hour, but he's not the kind of pitcher that's just going to rear it back and try to blow it by you. He will set it up with the off-speed stuff, with the little sinker, with the changeup. Makes that pitch look all the more quick coming to the plate.
Duncan strikes out for the 2nd out here in the 4th. And the 5th strikeout of the night for Glavine. He came right after Mariano Duncan.
Bob alluding to the fact that Mariano Duncan's strike zone, you can raise that with 2 strikes. And that's what Glavine did. First time in the game that he's come inside the right-handed batters twice in a row.
Foul tip hung on to by Javi Lopez, and it's 2 on, 2 out for Joe Girardi, and a strike over the outside corner.
Joe, you mentioned Charlie Hayes going to right. That's the way right-handers should try to hit Tommy Glavine. Take the inside part of the plate away from him and go the other way. Girardi, a guy who will go to right field consistently.
Might take something more than a single to get Fielder home from second. He's the lead runner.
Need a gap single, not a single right at an outfielder.
Braves have strong arms in the outfield, the best possessed by 19-year-old Andrew Jones in right. 2 balls and a strike on Girardi. As Andrew at arm, one of the 5 tools that he brings to the ballpark with him every game. Two on, 2 out. And a 3-1 count on Girardi.
Tommy Glavine pitches everybody very carefully, but with David Cone waiting on deck, he's going to try to force Joe Girardi to chase something out of the strike zone.
David Cone, who can handle the bat. It's 2 walks in the inning, 3 in the game for Glavine. And the bases are loaded for the Yankee pitcher David Cone. Bernie Williams led off the inning and reached on an error. The Yankees, who had a combined total of 1 run in the first 2 games, were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Much better tonight. The 2 hits, the 2 runs, and now it's bases loaded, 2 out for Cone.
You can see Don Zimmer there had a bee in his bonnet. He had an idea about something, and he was pleading his case to Joe Torre and Chris Chambliss.
To the left side, great play by Chipper Jones. That saved 2. Made a bid. Chipper put an end to the rally. 4th inning here in Atlanta. The Yankees out in front by 2. Could have been more, except for that terrific play by Chipper Jones down the line. Just a reminder, we told you about it last night. The 1996 True Value Roberto Clemente Man of the Year Award will be presented live here on Fox during Game 4 of the World Series tomorrow night. Kenny Rogers and Denny Nagel battling. Our coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Here's Lemke to be followed by Chipper Jones and Fred McGriff. David Cone back to work. And a breaking ball for strike one. Only 38 pitches thrown so far for Cone. That caught Lemke, I believe. If it didn't, it barely missed him. It did, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well,
Like he let out a howl.
He was screaming. He thought he was going to get hit with this pitch, but he's able somehow to get those legs out of the way.
Sometimes you anticipate getting hit and you don't, and you're happy.
Let out a little scream, and it missed him. 2 balls and a strike. Good pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, that's why Bob and I were talking earlier about why David Cone throws a lot of pitches, works a lot of deep counts. With a 2-run lead, he throws a breaking ball to Mark Lemke when he's behind in the count. That's an indication of him throwing a lot of pitches.
Another breaking ball, and it's 3-2.
Shaking off Joe Girardi twice.
But sometimes the catcher will intentionally have the pitcher shake his head just to give the batter something to think about.
3-2 fastball, Lemke into left. For Raines. The leadoff man is gone here in the 4th inning. That'll bring in Chipper Jones, who took an extra base hit away from David Cone. Had to play in to guard against a possible bunt. And David Cone almost shot it past him.
Well, this is the toughest play for a third baseman off the bat of a left-handed batter because that ball is spinning away. You mentioned he was playing shallow, makes the dive and covers that bag.
Jones is single his first time up. Ball 1. In this World Series, 3 out of 8. Good fastball. 1-1.
Power against power right there. Chipper Jones, a good fastball hitter. David Cone says, try to hit this one.
Yeah, we'll use a cellular high-tech analogy. The power was on, but he forgot to punch send.
1 ball, 1 strike. As he was trying to dial long distance, right? 2-1. McGriff waits on deck. Up to 46. Something off, 2-2.
There again, he throws a 2-1 breaking ball to Lemke, a 2-1 splitter to Chipper Jones. You never know what David Cone's going to throw you. There is no pattern, similar to Greg Maddux. No pattern to his pitching.
To the right side for Fielder. He's been busy tonight. Leads Cone to the bag. 2 out. 2 out in the 4th inning for Atlanta. Tomorrow it's game 4 of the World Series as the Braves look to continue their drive to a 2nd consecutive title while the Yankees try to get back on track. Keep their postseason hopes alive. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, exclusively here on Fox. And again, it's Denny Nagel for Atlanta. It's Kenny Rogers for the Yankees. 2 out, nobody on for McGriff. Grounded out to first his first time up. the line at third. Right side of the infield deep. They play McGriff to pull. 2-0.
Cone was a pitcher before his injury, before the aneurysm. It wasn't unusual for him to throw a lot of pitches in the ball game. But since that surgery, they have to keep a very close eye on that pitch count.
3-0. What was that game he threw at the Mets?
168 pitches with the Mets in the rain in the early 90s. But he won.
Two out, nobody on, and McGriff taking all the way, 3-1. The high-tech counter in the left hand of Mel Stottlemyre. Little low for ball 4, and the first walk of the night issued by Cone.
Joe Torre wanting Cecil Fielder perhaps to hold McGriff on. When a manager crosses his arms, that's a signal to play behind the runner at first. When he points, that's a signal to hold him on.
We've talked about this a number of times this season. You wonder why they would hold McGriff here. You got Klesko at the plate, a power hitter. McGriff at first, who isn't running well and doesn't run a lot anyway. And you have a left-hander at the plate.
And you're trailing by 2. So McGriff is not apt to run. And Klesko a pull hitter.
One and one from Cone.
Ryan Klesko's hot zone, like most left-handed hitters, down and in is a hot zone, up and out over the plate, and he will pull the pitch up and out over or go with it, depending on what the pitch is.
Strike 2 over the inside corner.
When Ryan Klesko takes that pitch, you know he's looking for something else. Do all hitters guess? I guess they guess.
One and 2 on Klesko. Right after him. And the second strikeout for David Cone. Klesko on the home plate umpire. The Braves lead 1. They trail by 2. More tickets for Fox Sports. David Hill, Peter Roth. David Hill, president of Fox Sports, president and COO of Fox TV. Peter Roth, president of Fox Entertainment, sitting ringside here at Fulton County Stadium. David Hill from Australia. Peter telling them all about this game. Tim Raines leading it off. 5th inning. Top of the order for the Yankees. Ball 1. People, I don't think, realize, Tim, how big baseball has become in Australia.
Absolutely. Craig Shipley, a utility player with the San Diego Padres, the first Australian baseball player to play in the major leagues.
It's now another answer to winter ball.
Yep, right.
1 ball, 1 strike. Graham Lloyd with the Yankees. Australian born. Winter ball season is big in Australia. Raines at the plate, leading it off. 1 and 2. It'll be Raines, Jeter, and Williams here in the 5th inning. The Yankees up 2-0. RBIs by Bernie Williams and Darryl Strawberry.
And once again, you see Raines taking a long time getting back in that box, trying to make Glavine wait on him.
2-2. Jeter's had a couple of good at-bats. A sacrifice bunt He's also lined out to right. Into left field for a leadoff hit. And for the third time in 5 innings, the Yankees put their leadoff man on. They've scored the first 2 times they have done that tonight, and Range is on for the second time this evening.
Glavine tries to come inside on Tim Range. You can see Javi Lopez moving in under the hands of the right-handed hitter. Glavine just did not get the pitch in far enough. Range with a clean single to left. Had to pull his hands in a little bit.
I'll tell you, Bob, I think Javier Lopez sets up too early. We talked last night about Joe Girardi, who sets up at the last minute. That was a throw to first, so there's no need to set up. But if you keep an eye on the catchers, often the good hitters can hear the pounding of the glove, or they can see him out of the corner of the eye if he sets up too early. But this guy right there, Joe Girardi, sets up better than any catcher in the major leagues today.
Jeter showing bunt again as he did back in the first inning. Ball 1. Does have a sacrifice tonight. A perfect bunt down the first baseline, and it took a good play from Javi Lopez to record the out. Rains a leadoff hit, held on by McGriff.
Here's Joe Girardi earlier in the game setting up with Ryan Klesko. As the pitch is on its way, they get the strike. Javier Lopez, you will notice, once he gives the sign, he sets up not immediately, but almost immediately. There he goes.
2-1.
We talk about cadence and rhythm. A lot of times a catcher handling a pitcher, there is cadence and rhythm to setting up also. You don't want to set up too soon because of the hitter, but you want to set up soon enough so the pitcher picks up the target.
A leadoff hit by Rains. Glavine behind in the count with Jeter at the plate. Runner going, hit and run. 2-2.
Good situation for Joe Torre. After showing bunt, the Braves pulled in their defense. Chipper Jones came in a couple more steps at third base. Freddie McGriff charging hard from first. Derek Jeter handles that bat well. He was hoping to shoot one through a hole somewhere in that infield.
2-2 on Jeter. Got it over the outside corner, 1 away.
It's a much lower strike than you will normally see called by an American League umpire. It's not unusual to see him go off the corners a little bit. We've seen it all night, but considerably lower than most umpires will go.
So the leadoff hit, Jeter failed to advance the runner, and it's 1 on 1 out for Bernie Williams. He's been involved tonight. Came in 0 for 7. He has an RBI single. He reached on an error and scored the second run for the Yankees back in the 4th. Range at first with 1 out. One ball, 1 strike on Williams with Fielder on deck.
Rains attempted a stolen base in last night's ball game and was gunned down by a perfect throw from Javi Lopez.
Stole 10 during the regular season, 10 out of 11.
787 career stolen bases for Tim Raines. He is 5th all time. Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, sliding Billy Hamilton, and Ty Cobb. Then Raines.
You can see Tim Raines' eyes there trying to get a peek in at the catcher, perhaps see the signal. Many times a base stealer will get his lead and tell the first base coach, you let me know if that pitcher comes over here. I'm going to try to pick up the signal from the catcher. Obviously, if you can see a breaking ball or a changeup signaled by the catcher, that's a better pitch to run on. See if he takes a peek in there.
1-2 on Williams. Into right, well hit. Andrew Jones back at the wall. What a catch. Now they have Raines off first. Double play.
Baseball's World Series is brought to you by the men and women of General Motors and the United Automobile Workers. By Sun America, the retirement savings specialist. By the new Coors Light wide mouth can. Tap the Rockies with a smoother pour. And by Network MCI. We have the power to put it all together for your business.
The second-year player, Chipper Jones, has already made a big play. Now it's Andrews' turn. Fox sounds of the game. That's how it sounds if you were an outfield wall and a 19-year-old stepped into you.
I think the mysterious thing here is why didn't Tim Raines run hard going back to second? He almost stopped at second. Now he has to slide to make it close at first base. I don't understand why he didn't go back hard to second. Otherwise, he's safe. As close play as it was. Mysterious play.
He's safe with Cecil Fielder coming up. Instead, it's a double play. Score at 9-3. And here's Javi Lopez leading off the 5th with the Yankees up by 2. Base hit.
A couple of innings ago, we talked about David Cone not being in good position to field a ball back through the box. And here it is, just a ground ball back up the middle. In no position to catch the ball. Back turn to the third baseman, facing the first baseman. Relatively easy ground ball through the box. It's right behind him, right over the rubber.
David saying, my fault.
Now it's Andrew Jones. Good breaking ball, strike 1. Andrews struck out his first time after jumping out in front of the count 3-0.
Remember Bobby Cox telling us before the game last night that Andrew Jones has great power to right center field. Cone looks like he's trying to keep the ball away from him.
Just low. 2-1. Cone wanted that pitch, didn't get it.
Oh, you can understand. Not where the catcher catches the ball, it's where it goes over the plate.
2 balls and a strike on Andrew Jones. Able to check his swing. It's 3-1.
I'm surprised they're not appealing there. Looked to me like Andrew Jones went around. There's no appeal by the Yankees. Close enough to appeal.
Certainly close enough to ask. A steady diet of breaking balls here to Andrew Jones.
Right down the middle, 3-2.
Now you've seen so many locals. That express looks like it's coming about 130 miles an hour. Looks like a bullet train coming through the strike zone.
A leadoff hit by Javi Lopez. And a 3-2 count on Andrew Jones. To the right side, Duncan gets the lead runner, and that's it. The force out 4-6, and that's all the Yankees could get.
Eddie Stanky used to say, if you're the runner at first base, a slowly hit ball to the right side, go into second base standing up. By sliding, what you do is you clear the path for the shortstop to catch the ball. If you go in standing up, it's a perfectly legal play. But if you go in standing up, perhaps the ball will hit you and trickle into shallow center field.
So 1 on, 1 out. And the number 8 hitter, Blauser, is at the plate. Blauser has driven in only 2 runs during the postseason. But during the regular season, in just 83 games, he hit 10 home runs. Drove in 35. David Cone last pitched on October 10th. 12 days ago. That gives him 11 days rest. He looks ready for game 3.
He's had a sharper breaking ball tonight than I've seen him throw in his last couple starts of the regular season and his 2 starts in the postseason. A much sharper breaking ball tonight.
Pretty close at first with Andrew Jones back ahead of the tag. Jones running. Girardi's throw is perfect.
Joe Girardi is a catcher who does not take a crow hop on his delivery to second base. As you see Jones with a little late jump there, tries to make up for it with his good speed. Puts the throw right on the button. You'll see Girardi just pivots on that right foot and throws. No crow hop. Puts it right on the button. Good tag by Derek Jeter.
Now with 2 out, nobody on. The 0-2 to Blauser, 1-2.
He looks safe. Quick tag by Derek Jeter, but a very close play at second.
I thought he got him.
Okay.
Inning over. 3rd strikeout for Cone. A leadoff hit, a man out stealing, and after 5 in Atlanta, game 3, 2-0 New York. Thanks to the Goodyear Blimp, Stars and Stripes, for providing tonight's shots from above. It was 1926 when the Goodyear Blimps began making appearances over major sporting events. A young Tim McCarver.
Oh, come on.
All right.
Quit.
Cecil Fielder leads it off, 6th inning. 2-0 Yankees. And Glavine starts Fielder with strike 1.
You were thinking, I know who you're thinking of, Douglas MacArthur.
That's it.
That's the guy.
I'm sorry. Thanks, Doug. Fielder, Hayes, and Strawberry for the Yankees here in the 6th. 1-1 on Cecil, who was grounded out and walked.
One of Douglas MacArthur's favorite sayings, chance favors a prepared man, and the Yankees certainly look more prepared tonight than they have been in games 1 and 2.
Tim.
Yes. Those foul balls have been following us around throughout the postseason.
Larritz and Kenny Rogers. looking over the charts.
That ball landed right up there, folks. It was close enough to duck.
A ball and 2 strikes on Fielder. 6th inning. And the check on Chipper. 1 out. Fielder 0 for 2. Well, next Wednesday, 90210 is back with a brand new Halloween episode, and they're throwing a bash that just might last all night long. 90210 featuring a special music performance by the Tony Rich Project next Wednesday on Non-Stop Fox. There's Brian Austin Green. What a hunk, huh? It's Brian Austin Green. It's Charlie Hayes. 1 out, nobody on. And a ball from Tom Glavine. Hayes is struck out and flying to right. As he flying to right, Bernie Williams back in the 4th inning tagged up and moved to 3rd. He scored on a hit by Strawberry. 1-1. He's back. He hasn't left since the NLCS.
He hasn't taken off that chest protector either since the NLCS.
That's the Braves' 4th catcher. It's the emergency catcher for Atlanta.
I would hate to see the circumstances. Find him in a ball game. 2 balls and a strike on Charlie Hayes. One out, nobody on. Over the outside corner, 2-2, and there's that pitch again.
You can almost see the frustration in Charlie Hayes' face. He would love to get a pitch from the middle of the plate in that he could drive, and Glavine is just not giving into that strike zone, consistently staying away.
2-2 to Charlie Hayes. Talk about staying stubborn. Charlie Hayes is not giving in.
And Joe, talking about staying is what Tommy Glavine's thinking about right now. Normally you'd have guys up in the Atlanta bullpen. Glavine scheduled to lead off the 6th inning.
3-2 pitch.
But because he's such a good hitter, Bobby Cox probably will allow him to hit to lead off the 6th inning. Glavine batted .289 on the season.
He's 3-2 on Hayes with 1 out, nobody on in the 6th. 2 out. And that's 7 strikeouts for Glavine.
Strikes him out on a changeup. Hayes finally gets the ball around the middle of the plate, and he goes to swing, and the ball is gone. A changeup, you can see it moving down there as it came through the strike zone.
7 strikeouts for Glavine. His World Series strikeout high is 8 in his last World Series start. Here, the 1-0 win in the clincher against Cleveland when he went 8 innings and allowed 1 hit.
Only gave up 3 hits in his other start. He gave up 4 hits to Cleveland last year in 14 innings.
Here's Strawberry, 2 out, nobody on. Darryl Strawberry, very impressive at bat his last time up. Took the first pitch into left for an RBI single.
Chipper Jones once again way off the line at third base, playing almost in a straightaway shortstop position, but Blauser not really in a legitimate shift.
That might be the weirdest infield shift I have ever seen.
Braves have thrown some out there in this series already.
Yeah.
They do it throughout the regular season as well against certain hitters. Barry Bonds comes to mind immediately. They shift on him a lot.
We saw it in the NLCS against Gary Gaetti.
He's a left-handed Cecil fielder. That's who Darryl Strawberry is. You flip-flop it, Cecil is exactly like that, down and into the right-hander, down and out over the plate.
3-0, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike on Strawberry. 3-2. Interesting that they plan to pull on the infield. In the outfield, right center field is wide open.
Grissom, with a count 3-1, was playing Darryl Strawberry toward right center. When the count went to 3-2, he moved over to left center. More out to hit the ball the other way.
Sixth inning, Braves back. They trail by 2. Sixth inning, Braves bat. They trail by 2. Tom Glavine set to lead it off, and well, for the Yankees so far so good, coming here down 2 games to none. I think you look right at one guy, and that's David Cone. He's been outstanding.
I think what David Cone may be looking to after this inning perhaps would be Mariano Rivera for 2, and then John Wetland for the 9th. We'll see what Joe Torre's going to think here.
Glavine pitching very well. He's matched his career high for strikeouts in a World Series game with 8. 2 hits in the postseason. A double, a triple, and 3 RBIs. And it's a 1-ball-1-strike count from Cone. It'll be Glavine, Grissom, and Lemke. If anybody gets on, Chipper Jones. Strike 2. Mariano Rivera. Jeff Nelson closer to us. 2-2 on Glavine.
Usually the first 4 or 5 innings of a ball game in the bullpen, it's a fun place to be. You talk a little baseball, you talk a little restaurants, you talk a little this, a little that, but at this time of the ball game, it's all business.
Now a 3-2 count on Glavine.
Guys are starting to stretch. You see Mariano Rivera stretching out the legs. John Wetland is laying on the ground out of your picture, getting his legs loose.
3-2 to Glavine, a leadoff walk. Gets the best of both worlds. He leaves Glavine in to hit. So he keeps him on the mound, and Glavine reaches base to start the inning. Now the tying run at the plate, it's Grissom. And it's strike 1.
Not only that, Joe, but Glavine is an excellent base runner. Perhaps the best base runner for a pitcher in the National League. He's fast, he's astute, he pays attention on the bases. Plus, he's aggressive.
1 on, nobody out. That should get out of play for strike 2. Action now for the Yankees in their bullpen. Ram Lloyd, the tall left-hander. Mariano Rivera, the right-hander.
I think Joe Torre pulling the trigger here about an inning before he thought necessary. He had everything planned for the 7th inning, with Cone being the 3rd hitter. He'd pinch hit for him, and he would love for Cone to finish this half inning to bring in Rivera in the bottom of the 7th.
A leadoff walk to Glavine, and 0-2 pitch coming to Grissom. 1-2.
If Joe Torre could script the ball game, that's the way he likes to do it. Get 6 innings out of your starter with a lead, 2 out of Rivera, 1 out of Wetland. 6-2-1.
Been a great trifecta for him all year long.
1-2, the count on Grissom. Into left field off the end of the bat. Raines can't make the catch, and the first two are on for the Braves in the 6th.
The ball's hooking off the bat of Marquise Grissom, and it looks like Raines is fooled by it. You can see the route he took to get to the ball. He was running pretty much straight across left field, and right there starts to come in. Not able to catch up with it.
Fine call by left field umpire Jim Evans. And now the question is, do you bunt? One would certainly think so with Lemke up there.
I would agree, absolutely. Mark Lemke's a great handler of the bat. He'll be able to deaden that ball around home plate, advance the runners.
Braves are down by 2. Tying runs are on. Throw behind Glavine. And Jeter, a very good job to keep that ball on the infield.
Tough situation for the base runner at second base, particularly when the batter bunts through the ball. It's always an automatic pickoff if the batter bunts through the ball with the runner at second base. Tommy Glavine's trying to get the biggest jump he possibly can to advance to third base. Very susceptible to a pickoff if Lemke bunts through the ball.
In the air, fielder, 1 out. And for the first time throughout the entire postseason, Mark Lemke fails. And a chance to advance the runners or drive someone home.
Now, David Setzel fielder, had he allowed this ball to drop, it was not called an infield fly by the umpires. If you allow it to drop, you perhaps can get a double play. It's a quick decision, and often you have to be helped out by another player, either a catcher or a pitcher. They take the 1 out, but it would have been very interesting if that ball drops, probably 2 at least.
Possibly 3, because maybe runners were going back to their bag.
That's right.
Now it's 2 on, 1 out for Chipper Jones. Ball 1. Two on, 1 out. 2-0 Yankees, 6th inning. 1-1.
Wicked splitter there.
I know Graham Lloyd has picked it up in the postseason and given Joe Torre more of a reason to believe in it. But by not having a left-hander out in that bullpen that you feel real confident with, certainly changes the outlook of this inning. With Jones up now, McGriff, and then Klesko. All 3 better from the left side, and I say that because Jones is a switch hitter.
I think Joe Torre may feel a little more comfortable after seeing Lloyd's performance last night when he came in and struck out 2.
2 on, 1 out, and a 2-1 count on Jones. 3-1.
Throughout the season, Bobby Cox has started his runners in this situation. 3-1 count, 1 out. If he's got confidence that the hitter at the plate can make contact. A couple times he's run into outs at third base.
Bases loaded. Torre.
Usually when a manager runs to the mound, he's not going to take the pitcher out. Usually. Joe Torre saying that David Cone will tell him the truth.
You remember earlier in the ALCS against Baltimore, Cone had a long day. Joe Torre went out, and Cone convinced him that he could stay in and get 1 more hitter. He was right. Here in Game 3 of the World Series, you better have an awful good feel with a guy like Mariano Rivera out in the Yankee bullpen. With the bases loaded, McGriff lights it up.
Graham Lloyd, the left-hander in the Yankee bullpen, struck out Fred McGriff as one of his 2 punch-outs in the ballgame last night. This is a gutsy call by Joe Torre.
2-0 Yankees. Bases loaded, 1 out for Atlanta. Strike 1. A leadoff walk to Tom Glavine. A hit by Grissom that fell in front of Raines. And a 1-out walk to Chipper Jones to load him up. Popped him up. Off the hands for Jeter. Glavine stays put. 2 out.
I do not believe the infield fly was in effect because it was not an easy enough chance for an infielder. It's got to be an easy chance, and with Derek Jeter backpedaling like that, matter of fact, catching the ball as he was backpedaling, the umpires chose not to call the infield fly rule. I think the proper call in this case.
Tough play for Derek Jeter. I can't believe Bernie Williams didn't call him off of that ball, so he had the momentum going towards home plate and for sure stopping Tom Glavine. A better base runner, a faster base runner at third base would probably try to score on that fly ball.
Now the bases are loaded, 2 out for Klesko. So tough with the bases loaded. Strike 1.
Looks like a high splitter. Remember David Cone the last time Klesko was up. Struck him out on an inside fastball. He starts him off with a splitter.
The tumbling rotation there on that split finger fastball.
Bases loaded, 2 out. Nicely blocked by Girardi.
Well, it's easy, much easier to block a ball in the dirt when you anticipate it going in that direction. That split finger fastball is always moving down. Girardi was in good position that time.
Glavine, Grissom, and Jones aboard for Atlanta. Base hit out of the infield with Tyatt. With the speed of Grissom, the runner on second. Will take off. A 3-ball, 2-strike count with the bases loaded, 2 out.
Talk about the guts of a burglar. David Cone has them. A 3-1 splitter with the bases loaded. And Klesko bit.
Talked at the beginning of the night about David Cone, one of the few big game pitchers left. He convinced Joe Torre to leave him out there. He got McGriff. And he's full with Ryan Klesko at the plate. first home. It's a one-run Yankee lead. Bases loaded, 2 out. Lopez, strike 1. Are either one of you surprised that David Cone is staying in with a guy like Rivera ready out in the Yankee bullpen in a one-run game?
No, I'm not, because the pitcher's up third, and you don't want Rivera hitting. I mean, Cone can pitch to McGriff and Klesko. My idea is he can pitch to Lopez still with the lead.
Bases loaded, 2 out. To the right side, it's foul. Girardi is there. Inning over. David Cone gets through the frame as Girardi makes the catch. It's a 2-1 game. Back after this from your local Fox station. Well, after that half inning, the bottom of the 6th inning, Tim Welke, the home plate umpire, got into it with a Yankee bench.
Well, we mentioned on the scouting report for Tim Welke that he had a lot of patience, did not have a quick trigger, and he certainly demonstrated it between innings there because he was getting an earful from that Yankees dugout.
Glavine back to work. Mariano Duncan trying to loop one into center, and he is on to start the 7th. Duncan 1 out of 3. And the leadoff man aboard. Our Aflac trivia question: which Hall of Fame player ended the 1926 World Series by being thrown out stealing?
Normally you would not bunt here because the pitchers leading off next are coming up next. But in this situation, you're not going to find the pitcher, just the pitcher's position. So look for the bunt here.
Another one in the air. This is foul for strike 1 off the bat of Girardi. You've got the leadoff hit. You've got Girardi up trying to bunt. And then Joe Torre will go to his bench. Jim Leyritz right now is in the on-deck circle. And Greg McMichael getting ready for Atlanta in their bullpen. Girardi trying to move Duncan over to second, ball 1. Each side has 4 hits. Braves have the only error which led directly to a run back in the 4th inning. And the Yankees are out in front 2-1 here in the 7th.
He's got a lot of ways to go. Girardi will probably get a fastball away. We'll see if Torre switches to a hit and run.
1 ball, 1 strike. Staying with the bunt, and it's a good one. Glavine makes the play, and the sacrifice is good. 1-4 as Glavine nearly overthrew Mark Lemke.
Good bunt by Girardi, gets it far enough away from the catcher and far enough off the pitcher's mound that Glavine has only 1 play to first base. Greg McMichael warming up in the Braves bullpen actually would play right into Joe Torre's hands. He's got more left-handed power on the bench. Jim Leyritz is really the only right-handed hitter he has with any sock coming off the bench. Leyritz is the 2nd catcher, so Joe Torre has got both catchers in the game at this moment.
1 out of 3 in the World Series. He made the start in game 1, catching Andy Pettitte. Ball 1. The Yankees have Tino Martinez, Andy Fox, Mike Aldrete, Wade Boggs, and Paul O'Neill on their bench from the left side. Get let off with a hit. Bunted down to second. Leyritz takes a strike.
That's what Joe Torre has available. The only other right-handed hitter left, Luis Sojo, usually saved as a defensive replacement for Mariano Duncan late in the ballgame.
Now 2-1 on Leyritz.
Tell you guys, I don't think I've ever seen as much padding on a left arm for a right-handed hitter. It's like Jim Leyritz has just dropped a couple of Paraquin Falcons. I was going to say Falcons. Hey, it attracts grasshoppers too. It looks like he's dropped a couple of Falcons off in the dugout.
2 balls and a strike on Leyritz. To the shortstop, Blauser. Duncan heads to third. He's there with 2 out. So Leyritz can't pick up the hit, pinch hitting. And the inning will continue for Tim Raines.
What a gutty performance by David Cone. Bases loaded, 1 out, facing Fred McGriff. He got him on a pop-up, and David Cone still looking at Tim Welke, the home plate umpire, on that 3-2 count to Klesko. And then he did retire Lopez on a pop-up with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Cone goes 6, allows a run on 4 hits. Struck out 3, walked 4. Now a runner at third. Duncan, 2 out for Tim Raines. He's had a good night. He's walked and scored. He's also singled. However, on the bases, he's been doubled off first on a fly ball to deep right. And he took a roundabout route to a ball hit by Grissom in that 1-run 6th inning for Atlanta. Way late, 1-1.
That sneaky quick fastball by Tom Glavine lulls you to sleep up there at the plate and then pops this 92-mile-an-hour fastball right by you.
Glavine trying to keep this a 1-run game. 2-1 on Raines. It will be Mariano Rivera on the mound for the Yankees in the bottom of this 7th. He will be dealing with the bottom 3 in the Atlanta order. To the right side. Lemke there, the flip, the out. And Glavine and the Braves get around a leadoff hit in the 7th. Here comes Mariano Rivera. He'll take over with the Yankees leading by 1. Our shots are from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. Our thanks to Captain Maloney and the crew. The great shots during tonight's telecast. It's game 3 from Atlanta. We get into the bottom of the 7th inning. Everybody's had a good stretch. 2-1. The Yankees out in front. Our Aflac trivia question. Hall of Famer was caught stealing to end the 1926 World Series.
Babe Ruth.
Yankees and Cards were in it. Our Aflac trivia answer, Babe Ruth. Caught stealing to end Game 7 of the 1926 World Series. We go into the bottom of the 7th inning here at Fulton County Stadium, and the Yankees talked about it in last night's open. Their formula for success. Good starting pitching through 6. Rivera for 2. Wetland for 1.
Not a whole lot of secret what you're going to see now from Mariano Rivera. He's going to rear back and throw a lot of high gas. Has a little wrinkle of a slider that he will throw occasionally, but he's going to rely on old number 1. Luis Sojo is in the game as a defensive replacement, as we predicted, at second base.
Here's Andrew Jones, and he looks at that good fastball for strike 1.
One of the catchers, one of the 2 regular catchers for the Yankees out. That's Jim Leyritz. Joe Torre telling us Luis Sojo will be the emergency 3rd catcher. Something happens to Girardi.
Jones pops it up right side. Luis Sojo just into the game. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. So they're all 3 in there now for the Yankees. Leyritz is already gone. Sojo's in the game, as is Girardi behind the plate.
The Atlanta Braves are probably saying, half in jest, all right, all you fastball hitters, here he is. It is almost impossible to get on top of a Mariano Rivera fastball.
Opponents hit only 189 against Rivera during the regular season. The deal with the number 8 hitter, Jeff Blauser. .95, strike one.
The only left-handed batter to homer off Rivera all year was Rafael Palmeiro of the Orioles.
Polonia waits on deck. He'll hit for Glavine. Little high, 1 ball, 1 strike. High again, 2-1. Right-handers hitting only 157 against Rivera. Two balls and a strike. Blauser pops it up right side. Fielder gives it a look. And a play and missed it. Ran into that tarpaulin roll down the right field seating area. And Cecil just simply missed it.
Ran out of field, I think.
Definitely got a beat on it, and as his body makes contact with that tarp, you'll see his glove gets out of position.
So Fielder back to position. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes on Blauser. Rivera taking over for David Cone. He gave the Yankees everything they could have hoped for tonight. 2-2. They could swing by Blauser.
Well, they got that pitch down a little bit. You get that ball down, that fastball around thigh high, it becomes much more hittable. A lot of hitters are trained to make most pitchers get the ball up. With Rivera, part of his success is you've got to make him get the ball down.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Jeff Blauser. 0 for 2 tonight. 3-2. The eyes of Zimmer on Mariano Rivera. That's into right center field. Bernie Williams over to get it. 2 up, 2 down.
That's one of the amazing things about, along with a lot of other things about Mariano Rivera. After working 112 innings this year, everybody knows he's going to throw a fastball. Everybody knows he's going to throw a hard slider. 130 strikeouts this year, and they still can't catch up to it. At least Mark Wohlers of the Braves, who throws a little harder, does have the splitter. He has other pitches that you have to tune into. But Rivera, for the most part, with a 1-speed pitch, fastball slider.
Polonia. Pinch hitting for Glavine. Glavine was outstanding. Allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. McMichael getting ready. He'll be next. He'll take over in the 8th. 2-0 on Polonia, the former Yankee.
Looks like Polonia's up there to try to get a walk. Polonia, a very good low ball hitter, and he's not going to get one in this at bat.
Two and 1. A strike. With Marquise Grissom waiting on deck. Grissom tonight 2 out of 3. A 2-out walk. So Rivera goes right through Andrew Jones and Blauser, but he walks Polonia pinch hitting. And back to the top of the lineup. Here comes Marquise Grissom. Six out of 13 in this World Series tonight. 2 hits and 3 at-bats. During the regular season, 23 home runs.
I think the way Rivera is throwing, I don't think Charlie Hayes should be on the line, because I think the chances of Grissom pulling the ball is remote. Charlie protecting against a double. The way Rivera's throwing that high fastball, it might happen, but it's doubtful.
One ball, one strike on Grissom. Tying run on base here in the 7th inning of Game 3. Atlanta out in front 2-0. Polonia's running. Grissom fouls it back, strike 2.
Rivera doesn't really concern himself too much with base runners, partially because he hasn't had that many this year. But he still uses the high leg kick, even with a runner like Louis Polonia, who's capable of stealing a base on at first.
Polonia at first.
If Polonia does run, Joe Girardi should have a good pitch to handle because of the high fastballs.
1-2 on Grissom. 2-2.
Times you'll see a pitcher go to a slide step with a fast runner, but Rivera stays with the high knee kick, the big delivery to generate that power that he needs to throw that fastball in the high 90s.
One on, 2 out. 2-2 the count on Grissom. Polonia running again. Girardi's throw. Got it. And the 7th inning is history. The New York Yankees during the regular season 79-2 when leading after 7. After 7 tonight, out in front by 1.
What a ball game. 2-1 Yankees. And sure enough, Joe Girardi got his high fastball, Bob.
And another strong throw with just a pivot. Great play at the other end by Luis Sojo, just into the game as a defensive replacement. Picks the low throw. Quick tag. Nice play.
Derek Jeter leads it off and could not check his swing. Strike 1 as Greg McMichael takes over. It's an unearned run. That's the difference in this game as Jeter went. Glavine 7 innings. 2 runs, but only 1 earned. Allowed just 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 8. To the left side, going to be tough for Blauser. Base hit. Blauser did all he could, but Jeter's speed puts him at first to start the 8th.
When an infielder on the left side, right-handed batter that can run like that, when he makes a play that he has to get in front of, he's got to throw the ball flat-footed. And that's what Blauser did. Watch him throw the ball flat-footed. In between hop, caught by McGriff, too late.
It's a base hit for Jeter, and the leadoff man is on for the Yankees here in the 8th. The numbers for McMichael during the postseason: 0-1 with that loss coming in Game 4 of the National League Championship Series in St. Louis.
That was a pickoff attempt there, only by the strictest definition. They were hoping to get Bernie Williams to tip off what he was going to do, hopefully get him to show whether he was going to bunt or whether he was going to hit away. No sign by Williams what he's going to do.
Bernie Williams gets to turn around and bat left-handed for the first time tonight. 1 on, nobody out. Jeter bluffs a go from first, and it's ball 1 on Williams.
Yeah, but Bob, I don't think there's any way that Bernie Williams is bunting in this situation. One of the top hitters for Joe Torre and the Yankees this year. May hit and run, but I don't think you're going to bunt.
Jeter on with an infield hit. Bernie Williams has a left-handed batter this season, hit .270. He's a right-hander, .378. 13 of Bernie's 29 home runs came while batting left-handed. Down the line and right. Goodbye. 4-1 New York here in the 8th.
Postseason home run for Bernie Williams. It looked like a high changeup right around the belt that was belted.
6 home runs in the postseason ties a record set by Bob Robertson in 1971 with the Pirates, and there was no doubt about this one. Of course, Bernie Williams had an extra round to work with to hit the home run.
Right.
4-1, the Yankees out in front here in the 8th inning. Now Cecil Fielder shoots the gap in left center field. This ball is up against the wall. Fielder has a double. And the boos rain down on Greg McMichael.
Well, Greg McMichael is a 2-pitch pitcher. He throws a sinker, he throws a changeup, and he throws mostly changeups. If he does not have that ball down, he's a very predictable pitcher. The Yankees are going up there looking off speed, and they're not missing it.
McMichael will hand off to Bobby Cox. And in a series in a postseason that has been dominated by outstanding Atlanta pitching, McMichael has a rough first inning here in the 8th. Top of the 8th inning. The batter is Charlie Hayes, a runner at second, a pinch runner. Andy Fox takes over for Fielder. Strike 1 on Hayes. Rare is the day when Atlanta pitching is booed here at Fulton County Stadium, and the crowd got all over Greg McMichael as he leaves here in the 8th inning and gives way to Brad Klontz. Brad has had very limited work during the postseason. Andy Fox, the runner at second for Fielder. Charlie Hayes will at the very least try to advance the runner. He does his job. Blauser takes care of Hayes. Charlie Hayes is 0 for 4 tonight, but he's had 2 productive outs. A fly ball to right to advance a runner, and now the ground ball to short to advance Fox.
If you're the runner on at second base, the rule of thumb is if the ball is hit at you or to your left, you go to third. If it's hit to your right, you stay. That ball is hit right at Andy Fox. Good base running by Fox, good hitting by Charlie Hayes. And you get the feeling that Tino Martinez may be a hitter somewhere in here.
Here is Darryl Strawberry. They have Soho on deck. Fox is already in the game, so if Joe Torre wanted, because Fielder is now gone, he could insert Tino Martinez in the lineup next. Have him hit for Soho.
Right.
Have Fox play second and Martinez stay in and play first.
And you weaken your defense a little bit by doing that, but not much. Soho making that good play. And it is a 3-run lead. A little more comfortable than normally.
Another thing that could happen, and it's not going to happen here, Soho will bat. But another dividend that could be paid by putting Tino Martinez up in this spot is to break that string where Martinez has not driven in a run this postseason. Take a little of the pressure off for further down the road here in the World Series.
And another thing to keep in mind is Don Zimmer loves the squeeze play. And with Soho up there in for defense, you saw his numbers. There is a very good opportunity to squeeze right here.
Fox the runner at third. He does bunt. It is foul. It was a safety squeeze.
Right.
As Andy Fox was not coming hard with a pitch.
Well, that's what Don Zimmer was talking to all three of us about before the opening game at Yankee Stadium. All you have to do is try to make the first baseman feel the ball. This is a safety squeeze. The runner not coming until there is contact.
On a suicide squeeze, the runner will commit when the pitcher's arm starts forward to home plate. That time you could see Fox was waiting to see the ball hit the ground.
Here he comes. Suicide squeeze. It's fouled for strike 2. So from safety to suicide, and Fox back to third with the runners at the corners, 1 out.
Well, the difference this time, Fox is running. You see before the pitch is delivered to home plate, Fox is on the move. That's a suicide squeeze. On back-to-back pitches.
That's the way Don Zimmer used to manage when he was with the Cubs and guided them to an Eastern Division title in 1989. Guys in the opposing dugout never knew what to expect. Now Soho slaps one through. And to score is Fox. And it's a 5-1 Yankee lead. Couldn't get the bunt fair, but he slaps one through the right side to score Fox.
Nice piece of defensive hitting by Luis Polonia, or rather Luis Soho, with 2 strikes. Took an inside-out swing, a sinker on the inside part of the plate, and just fought it off and found that hole on the right side.
It's been a 3-run inning. It's a 4-run Yankee lead here in the 8th. It's 2 on with 1 out, and it's strike 1 on Girardi. That's out of play. Strike 2. So charge all 3 runs this inning to Greg McMichael. Does not retire a hitter. Allows 3 runs on 3 hits, including the home run by Bernie Williams. And now the 0-2 pitch to Girardi. 1-2.
That was really an odd at bat by Luis Soho. He failed on the safety squeeze, and then the suicide squeeze, and then poke one to right while swinging away, sometimes not bunting.
Now Girardi strikes out for the 2nd out. The one thing Soho was at least able to do on the suicide squeeze was get the bat on the ball.
Make contact, right.
A little smile after an RBI single. Now 2 on, 2 out. And Mariano Rivera will get his first big league at bat. And he gets to face a sidearm, side-winding right-hander.
Yum.
Ball 1.
It throws the first pitch right in at your belt buckle.
Rivera wasn't bailing. Just got out of the way. Didn't appear intimidated at least. 2 on, 2 out. 2-0.
Well, you can bail with other things than your rear end. You can bail in your mind.
A mental bailout.
A mental bailout, right.
Sidearm delivery by Klotz. Falls behind Rivera, 2-0.
Late cut, 2-1. Rivera in the bottom of this 8th inning will deal with Grissom, Lemke, and Jones. Top of the order for Atlanta. Starting to see a few more Yankees smile. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rivera.
It's a big breakthrough for the Yankees, particularly offensively. They've proven to themselves that they can score runs against this Braves pitching staff. They got their ace reliever in the game right now. They've got reason to smile for the first time.
Right. Derek just realized the camera was on him. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rivera. To the right side. Not a bad at bat. Lemke, a good play. And the inning is over. A big inning for the Yankees. A 3-run 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning after Bernie goes deep. 5-1 New York.
Sports coverage of Major League Baseball's World Series is brought to you by Alliance Capital, investing without the mystery. By Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. By Gillette Sensor Excel and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get. And by new Axid AR, proven so effective it can prevent heartburn completely.
Well, our thanks to Captain Maloney and the crew. Goodyear blimp stars and stripes from high above. Helped out all night. It's been a great game. The Yankees have opened it up here in the 8th inning, 5-1. Good pitching early by both Tom Glavine and David Cone. Mariano Rivera back to work. A new first baseman into the lineup for the Yankees. Tino Martinez to take over in the number 4 spot in the Yankee lineup. That's down the right field line. Trouble, and it's fair. Foul for strike 1. Folks, this copyrighted telecast is presented by Authority, the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without express written consent. But Selig was just outside our booth before the game. You talk about drawing a crowd. Every writer or anybody who had a pen on him was standing around. Bud Selig was delivering a sermon. 2 balls and a strike.
They were probably asking him about his signature on the World Series ball.
Yeah, I'm sure. Something hard hitting like that. His signature is on that ball. Some fan out in right field has one, thanks to Bernie Williams. Some fan above our heads has one, thanks to Marquise Grissom.
For Rivera to be effective, he's got to throw that fastball up around the top of the zone. Last inning, he was missing up high quite a bit.
That's well hit into deep right center field. At the track, at the wall, off the wall. At least 3 for Grissom. They circle the bases. Marquise Grissom heading for third, and they'll hold him with a leadoff triple.
And he probably would have made it. But when you're trailing by 4 runs, there is no way that Jimmy Williams can take a chance. Darryl Strawberry with that bad right big toe couldn't get over to back up the play. Bernie Williams made a fine effort. Grissom rounds the bag, but is stopped because there's nobody out. Here's Williams off the wall, and the carom takes it way into straightaway center field. By the time Strawberry got to it, Grissom could have made it home. The way I saw it, with nobody out, no reason to take the chance.
He had it in his mind as he came into third base.
Now Lemke looks at a strike.
If a guy's content to get a triple, usually he will break it down and end up standing on the base. He was rounding third, anticipating going home.
Now Wetland cranks it up. Runner at third, nobody out. And a 1-1 count on Lemke.
Backing up that play, Darryl Strawberry certainly showed the effects of that toe. He thought that ball went over the fence. Bernie Williams didn't realize the ball had stayed in play.
2-1 on Lemke.
Talked about Strawberry in game 1. Looked very good on that broken toe, but tonight not moving nearly as well as he did in game 1.
Now Mel Stottlemyre will come out and talk to Rivera. It has not been as sharp tonight as he was in last night's game when he won a perfect inning, striking out 1 in the 9th inning. Struck out Grissom in that 9th inning and a 1-2-3 frame.
Joe Torre now has Graham Lloyd joining John Wetland in the bullpen. Chipper Jones, we've mentioned it before. You want to turn him around if possible. Followed by Fred McGriff and Ryan Klesko, 2 lefties. Really would like to save Wetland to come in and pitch the 9th inning only if possible.
Grissom a leadoff triple. Lemke 3-1. Coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning, Tim, Bob, and I will award today's Chevrolet Player of the Game. Chipper Jones waits on deck, and if Lemke can reach, the Braves could have a chance to hop right back into the game. Full count on Lemke.
Taking all the way was Mark Lemke.
To the right side and through. In to score Grissom, and it's a 5-2 Yankee lead.
Season, what a great high ball hitter Mark Lemke is. It's a high fastball from Rivera, drives it through the right side of the infield. He's a thorn in the side.
Now Rivera with Lemke at first. Deals with Chipper Jones. A triple and a single. And ball 1 to Jones. Tonight by Lemke getting ready for Atlanta. Two and 0 on Chipper Jones. Rivera looked in at the home plate umpire Tim Welke after he didn't get that call on that 1-0 pitch. Big swing, 2-1.
I think this is Rivera's last batter regardless of what happens. If Rivera gets Jones out, I think Joe Torre will go to Graham Lloyd for at least McGriff. And then Bobby Cox will pinch hit for Ryan Klesko and then bring in Wetland. That would be the ideal thing for Torre right now.
2-1 on Jones. To the left side, that'll get out of play. 2-2. 6 strong innings from David Cone. And Rivera took over last inning. Allowed a 2-out walk, but Poloni was out stealing to end the frame. Now a leadoff triple, an RBI hit by Lemke, and a 2-2 count on Chipper Jones. Got it. 1 away here in the 8th inning. And here comes Joe Torre.
Talked about up the ladder with the fastball the other night. Get ahead of the hitter and just bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Got Jones to chase. Tough to get on top of that high gas.
Pitching change coming here in the 8th. Rivera out, Lloyd in, McGriff coming up. The 1996 True Value Roberto Clemente Man of the Year Award will be presented live here on Fox during Game 4 of the World Series tomorrow night. Kenny Rogers, Denny Nagel. 1 on, 1 out, 1 run in. Fred McGriff Strike one as the third base umpire, Jerry Davis, rings up McGriff.
Graham Lloyd comes in facing the left-handed batter. First pitch, slider away. Looked like McGriff committed.
Strike one on McGriff. Lemke at first. 1-1. Don't forget the efforts of David Cohn, not only going 6 innings, but when he convinced Joe Torre to leave him in that 1-run 6th inning, it saved Graham Lloyd for the 8th inning.
Yeah, good point.
And now with a 3-run lead, the Yankees have the luxury of having their one left-hander in their bullpen ready for McGriff and Klesko. 1-1. Into center field for Bernie Williams. 2 out. Lemke back to first as Lloyd takes care of McGriff. And now he'll face the left-hander Klesko.
Now this is kind of a win-win situation for Joe Torre. If Bobby Cox leaves Klesko in there, he'll leave Graham Lloyd in there. If he pinch hits the right-hander, a guy like Jermaine Don, then Joe Torre would bring in John Wetland.
This tells you that Bobby Cox likes his chances better with Klesko against Lloyd,
right,
than Jermaine Dye against Wetland.
You got it, brother.
That's a foul ball. Good effort by Girardi. Strike one.
Boy, there's a concession right there by Ryan Klesko to the left-handed pitching Graham Lloyd, trying to bunt with 2 outs in the inning and a runner at first base. Girardi jumping out of there.
Not really a bad play when you think about it. I mean, the Braves do trail by 3, not 2. If it were 2, it'd be a bad play. But you do have Javier Lopez on deck.
1-run home for Atlanta. They're down by 3. 1 on, 2 out. Strike 2. Rivera goes an inning and a third, has allowed 1 run. Numbers against left-handers way down for Klesko. Rivera struck out only 1. Now Lloyd. What a great job by Graham Lloyd, although now they say that the ball was not foul tipped despite the early indication by Tim Welke, and the strikeout ends the inning. Great work by Lloyd, and after 8, 5-2 New York.
Hello, I have your son. Give me $2 million.
They thought they had him. I can't help him. Right where they wanted.
Dad? Out the door!
Until he did what they never expected.
I'm offering this money as a reward on your head.
Mel Gibson.
You still have a chance to do the right thing.
In a Ron Howard film.
If you don't, then God be with you, because nobody else on this earth will be.
I will never, ever quit.
Give me back my son!
Ransom. Rated R. Starts Friday, November 8th.
Genuine Chevrolet. Then and now, the cars more Americans trust. Genuine Chevrolet. The cars more Americans trust.
Remember when phone calls were simple? Well, AT&T is making them simple again. Calls from home are one low rate all the time.
Are you saying one rate all the time?
Yeah.
This is from AT&T?
Yeah, it's 15 cents a minute, no restrictions. To anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Daytime?
All the time.
After my nap?
Anytime.
To anybody?
Everybody in America at any time.
953.
Why is this so hard to understand?
No restrictions, no games. The AT&T one-rate plan.
That's right, that's exactly right. How am I supposed to explain that to the client?
We have no time.
This is Jeff.
Hi, it's me.
Hi, what's up?
How's work?
It's busy, very busy. What's up?
Well, do you want to meet me at home for lunch?
No, that's I can't do that right now. I'm in the middle of something and I can't get away. It's a big meeting,
Uh-huh. Have you looked in your briefcase yet?
You're killing me. Come on.
I left you something this morning.
I'll be home in 10 minutes.
In just 3 days,
You can't stop it.
the wait will finally be over.
The killer. He's got more bodies.
Millennium Series premiere Friday on Fox.
As we get into the 9th inning, time to pass out the thank you notes. The senior coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox. The producer of today's game is John Filippelli. Today's game directed by Bill Webb. Videotape producers are Carol Langley and Lance Garrett. Associate director is Kathy Hunt. The game producer is David Banks, directed by Jim Lynch. The executive producers of Fox Sports are David Hill and Ed Gorin. Special thanks to Michael Weissman in the truck, Steve Horn in the booth. We have filled up a parking lot here at Fulton County Stadium. Tim Raines leads it off. Top of the order for the Yankees, 1 pitch. The ground ball to McGriff. 1 out as Malecki gets the leadoff man. And Raines will end the night 1 out of 4.
It's a much tougher play than it appears when the first baseman has to throw that ball overhand and hit that pitcher on the run. It's always easier if you can get your momentum going towards the bag and make that underhanded toss, but McGriff, much like an NFL quarterback, threw it right over the bag and let Malecki run into it, just like Cecil did earlier.
Yep. Both of them had that good short passing game tonight, like Montana. 1 out, nobody on. Derek Jeter looks at ball 1. A West Coast offense. Jeter has a hit. It was his infield hit that started that 3-run rally. In the 8th inning, a hit by Jeter, a 2-run home run by Bernie Williams, the double by Fielder, the ground out to move the runner over, and the RBI hit to the right side by Luis Sojo. Two and 1 on Jeter. Came into this game 0 for 7. He has a couple of hits. He's scored a couple of runs. He's driven in 3. Tough to keep down. Smoltz kept him down in game 1. Maddox in game 2. Glavine and the rest couldn't hold him tonight. 3-1 on Jeter. Another one up and in, and a 1-out walk.
It's always tough to hold a hitter down when he gets high changeups, which is what he hit against Greg McMichael, and he hit it a ton to right field.
Here is Bernie Williams with a single in the first, reached on an error in the 4th. Flying to the wall and right into the double play as Raines was doubled off first, and then hit the 2-run homer in his first at bat, batting left-handed tonight. One out. So Bernie Williams tonight hit one to the wall batting right-handed. He homered batting left-handed. He's already homered from each side of the plate in 2 postseason games. Only player to do that.
Last year and this year.
1 on, 1 out. Check on Jeter, who stole 14 bases during the regular season. Kenny Rogers is on the mound tomorrow night for the Yankees. He will battle with Denny Nagel.
He should probably sit down with Graham Lloyd tonight.
Yeah.
Lloyd's had great success against the Braves left-handed hitters so far in this series.
Both last night and tonight.
3 strikeouts of the 4 hitters that he's faced.
Lloyd in this series has struck out Jones and McGriff. Retired McGriff on a fly ball to shallow center and struck out Klesko. Forget that hearing. Have a hearing. October 28th. Bob Watson, the general manager, got ripped for making the trade, bringing Graham Lloyd from the Brewers to the Yankees. You can already tell the Yankees will rely heavily on Graham Lloyd in this series. They have in the last couple of games.
Well, the big question with Graham Lloyd was his ability to throw the breaking ball, and I think he's proven in the last couple of games that he can throw that breaking ball effectively.
Sinker, slider, bone chips.
Sinker, slider, bone chip.
1-2 the count on Bernie Williams. Right down the middle, struck him out. A ground down will walk, a strikeout, and with 2 out. Batter will be Martinez as Bilecki got the fastball by him.
You had to catch Bernie Williams guessing right here because this is way too good a pitch. Catches a lot of plate there. With 2 strikes, got to be a little more defensive at the plate.
Sometimes those scouting reports work the other way. They get you thinking too much about split finger fastballs and you end up taking pitches you normally would hit. That looked to be the case there.
Here's Tino Martinez, first at bat of the night. He's set for the early innings of this game. Talked about it a number of times. The postseason numbers not good for Tino. Hitting only .205, hasn't driven in a run. Does have that 1 hit in this series, which came in game 1. Jeter at first, 2 out. Braves thinking Jeter may run. It's 2-0 now on Martinez, and now Jeter may run.
You don't like to put your pitcher in a 2-0 hole, but apparently Bobby Cox saw something either from Derek Jeter or from the signs that made him think that they were going to try to run right there.
Not going, and 3-0 on Martinez.
More often than not, a runner will tip when he's going to run. He'll do something different.
Often they're too lackadaisical over there. That's one of the biggest signs a guy's going to run, when he tries to tell you that he's not going to run.
Caught the corner, 3-1 on Martinez.
Now, I don't think this is a running situation. A lot of managers do. But with the count 3-1, you don't want the distraction of the guy running. You want a power hitter like Martinez to choose a certain pitch and drill it.
Check on Jeter at first with 2 out. Tino Martinez coming off the bench tonight. Probably will do the same tomorrow night as Denny Nagel is on the mound for Atlanta. Cecil Fielder had a strong effort here tonight, both at the plate and in the field. Jeter running on ball 4, and it's 2 on, 2 out here in the ninth. 2 walks in the inning by Bilecki. Well, the Yankee offense. Despierta, despierta.
Despierta, despierta. They woke up. We were talking about it and kidding about it in the opening. That is the Spanish meaning of wake up. Telling the story about Luis Polonia talking to the Braves bats before game 5 against the Cardinals when the Braves were leading or trailing 3-1. And boy, did they ever wake up, and the Yankee bats have awoken this evening.
Braves dominance over the last 5 games in postseason has never been done before. Charlie Hayes at the plate, strike 2. The Atlanta Braves have outscored St. Louis and the Yankees coming into this game over the last 5 games 48-2. Most ever runs scored over 5 consecutive postseason games, the 48 runs. They tied the Cleveland Indians from 1920 and 1948 with the fewest given up by giving up only 2. Tonight it's the Yankees 5, the Braves 2. 2 on, 2 out, and the 0-2 to Hayes. Inning over. Bottom of the 9th inning, Braves last chance. Lopez, Jones, and Blauser coming up. Wetland coming in. Has really gone according to plan for the Yankees and Joe Torre. Build confidence early, get an early lead, get strong innings out of David Cone, turn it over to the bullpen, and now tomorrow night the Yankees will hope for the same out of Kenny Rogers. He has not performed well in the postseason. 12-8 during the regular season. He'll face Denny Nagel. It was Rivera, then Graham Lloyd, and now John Wetland. 3 saves in the 1996 postseason. The Yankees during the regular season 86-1. when leading after 8. Javi Lopez leads it off and takes ball 1.
The Yankees certainly have to be encouraged. The first 2 games of the series, not only did they not hit very much hard, they didn't even take very many good swings. In this ball game, they've been a much better offensive ball club.
Lopez checked his swing and the count 2-0. Lopez, Andrew Jones, and Blauser as Wetland tries to protect a 3-run 9th inning lead.
Wetland with 43 saves on the year, but few were easy. He can have some adventurous 9th innings.
Right down the middle, 2-1.
He's wearing that sweatband with a bill out there. That's his lucky cap he's worn all year long. You see the logo on the side. He refused to wear the new hats with the logo. He said, if you want me to wear the logo, sew it on my old hat.
New logo, old hat.
That's right.
Lopez pops it foul. But that needle didn't enjoy going into that hat. Send that thing. They won't send it to Cooperstown after this series. They'll send it to the Smithsonian or to the cleaners.
See, when you see all that stuff up there, you know it's an old hat. See all that stuff right up in there? That's an old hat right there.
Sweat marks.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hard hit. Jeter can't handle it. And the leadoff man is on.
Was hit very hard by Javi Lopez. 3-hopper. Was misplayed by Derek Jeter. Hits him on the heel of the glove. And at this point, I still think he had a shot to get Javi Lopez at first base, but elected to hang on to the ball.
It's an error to start the 9th inning. One more base runner and the Braves will have the tying run to the plate. It's 5-2 Yankees, bottom of the 9th inning. Andrew Jones.
Unless Joe Torre and the Yankees are expecting a bunt, why would you hold on Javier Lopez at first base? Huge hole on the right side.
Combine that with a good velocity of Wetland.
Yeah.
A good chance Jones could punch it that way.
What the Yankees are looking for is 1 out. They'll take the double play, obviously. They want to make sure of 1.
Leadoff man is on for the Braves. And it's a 2-1 count on Andrew Jones. Jones struggled early in the postseason, but he has become a threat in a hurry. One on, nobody out. 2-2. Including the postseason, it's 89-1 when leading after 8.
Can't figure out what Andrew Jones might be thinking about. A dead fastball hitter, and he's taking fastballs right down the middle from John Wetland.
2-2. Wouldn't chase it. 3-2.
The look on Jones in his short time in the big leagues is as much soft stuff as you can throw it. Breaking balls, change ups, split fingers. And if you must throw the fastball, keep it low and away. It's a more Andrew Jones-like cut right there.
David Cohn, the starter for the Yankees, went 6 strong innings. Got out of a bases-loaded jam in his final frame. 1 run on 4 hits. Back to watch the 9th. 1 on, nobody out. And the count holds at 3-2 on Andrew Jones.
Wetland has a good overhand curveball. He always has, but he does not have very good command of it.
Yeah, 3-2. You want Andrew Jones to put the ball in play. You're still leading by 3, only 1 on.
Got him over the outside corner, and Andrew Jones can't believe it. Neither can Bobby Cox. This was borderline at best.
I think the reason that Andrew Jones complained is he was looking for another fastball. It looked like a slider that was outside, and Andrew Jones was right on that one. But had that ball been over the heart of the plate, I think Andrew Jones has struck out.
So the breaking ball, but clearly outside.
Yeah.
And instead of the tying run coming to the plate, it's 1 on, 1 out here in the 9th inning. Now the Yankees at first base with Tino Martinez. Play behind Javi Lopez. 1 on, 1 out. Blauser takes a strike. Talked about it earlier. The strike zone is key with a guy like Glavine. Wouldn't you know it, the strike zone and the width of it comes into play with Wetland in the 9th inning. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Blauser.
And the height of it came into play with David Cone pitching when the Yankee bench complained. On the 3-2 pitch to Ryan Klesko with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
High again. It's 2-1. Really have to credit Andrew Jones. He's up in a tight spot. He's not up there flailing away. Took a borderline pitch that appeared outside. Called out for the first out. Now a 2-2 count on Blauser. Pendleton on deck. He will bat for Balecki. One on, 1 out. 2-2 pitch. 2 out. Back-to-back strikeouts after the error. And now Terry Pendleton walks to the plate. The last chance for Atlanta.
Wetland is a completely different pitcher if he can get ahead of the hitter. Makes that breaking ball much more effective. The hitters have to respect the fastball. When he falls behind and has to rely strictly on the fastball, he becomes much more hittable.
The only hit for Pendleton could very well have been ruled an error on Derek Jeter in last night's game. It was ruled a double on a pop-up behind short. In and out of the glove of Jeter. The only hit for Pendleton overmatched on that pitch, strike 1. Terry, a big swing with only 1 on and his team down by 3. Another big cut and the count 0-2.
Pendleton's always been a high fastball hitter from both sides of the plate, but need a ladder to catch up with that high fastball from Wetland.
Yankees trying to wrap up game 3. They lead 5-2, 9th inning, 1 on, 2 out. That's out of play.
Much more controlled swing that time by Terry Pendleton with 2 strikes. With John Wetland supplying the power, that's the kind of swing you need to take on every pitch.
An error started this inning on a hard hit ball hit by Lopez. Bobby Cox still talking and shaking his head about that 3-2 pitch to Andrew Jones. Pendleton stays alive. If the game continues, Grissom would be up with a chance to tie it with a long ball. Runner at first with 2 out. And an 0-2 pitch to Pendleton. Just does stay alive.
Really much too good of a curveball with an 0-2 count on a hitter. Ideally, you like to bounce out on home plate and hope to get the batter to chase. Wetland throws this curveball for a strike.
Wetland trying to wrap up his 4th postseason save here in 1996. 1 on, 2 out, 0-2, and we'll do it again. If it stays as is, David Cone will win his first postseason start this season. Came in 0-1 with an ERA of 6. He was outstanding through 6. Pendleton fell behind quickly 0-2. He's had a good at bat. Battling Wetland. To the right side, Soho. Game 3 belongs to New York. Wetland wraps it up. David Cone started it. The offense supplied by Bernie Williams with help from others in a 5-2 New York win in Game 3. And the Atlanta lead is now down to 2-1 in this best-of-7 1996 World Series. Our Chevrolet player of the game is David Cone. 6 innings, 1 run on 4 hits. He gave the Yankees the start they needed, and the Yankees backed him with 5 runs here tonight. 2 teams in World Series history have won the series after losing the first 2 home games. Kansas City in '85, the Mets in '86, the Yankees trying to do it in '96. They're on the board with their first win. 2-1 Atlanta through 3. Game 4 tomorrow night. Back to wrap up in a moment. Atlanta down 2-0. They win Game 3. An outstanding effort by David Cone and the bullpen tonight. And standing by with our Chevrolet player of the game, David Cone, is Steve Lyons. Steve.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. David Cone, this team needed you to come up huge for him tonight. You did. You started to struggle a little bit in the 6th. Joe Torre came out to talk to you. What did he have to say?
Well, Joe said, you know how important this game is. He trusts me. He said, tell me how you feel. And I tried to talk him into letting me stay in there. I knew it was too early in the game to come out in the 6th inning. I needed to get through that inning.
You go ahead and walk Klesko. Then you approach Lopez, get him to pop up. How did you approach Lopez in that at-bat?
Well, I wanted to throw a first pitch slider and got him to swing at it and got ahead. I actually got away with a high slider on him. It was up and in, kind of a cut fastball, and I got away with one and stayed in bounds.
The Klesko pitch, you walked him, looked a little bit up. You wanted it. How do you feel about it now?
It's a close pitch. I haven't seen it again. Obviously, there's a lot of pitches throughout the game that are borderline, that some you get and some you don't. And that was such a crucial point in the game. Obviously, I wanted that pitch.
All right, excellent job. Chip, let's go back to you.
Okay, Steve Lyons, thank you very much. The Yankees came to Atlanta desperately needing a ball game. They got it. 5-2 the final score. Atlanta now leads the series 2-1. We'll have more from Atlanta right after this. Who says the New York Yankees can't beat a left-hander? They beat Tom Glavine tonight and have a chance tomorrow if they beat Denny Nagel to even the 1996 World Series at 2 games apiece. David Cone, a gritty, gutty effort tonight. The big hitting hero for the Yankees. Who else? Bernie Williams came into this game 0 for 7 tonight. A home run, 3 RBIs. Williams scored a couple of runs as well. And the Yankees have gotten on the board. 5-2 the final score tonight. The series lead for Atlanta now 2-1. Tomorrow, a battle of left-handers. Kenny Rogers, who has struggled in the postseason again, takes on Braves left-hander Denny Nagel, who sparkled in the National League Championship Series. We'll have Game 4 at 8 o'clock Eastern for you right here on Fox. It's the World Series from Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Our final score again tonight, New York 5, Atlanta 2. Braves lead the series 2-1. For our entire crew, this is Chip Carey. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. So long, everybody.
Friday, it's the most